We are back. Paranormal Pixies.
Yep, on this lovely, icky, cold day in May. Boo.
It's raining. It's chilly.
It's yucky.
So.
We don't like this weather, do we?
No.
No.
Mm-mm. He says, no, I don't. I'd rather be inside on my comfy pillow.
Yep.
Oh, baby. So say hi, Coco. Hello.
He's like, yeah, I would rather go to sleep.
He's like, I'm getting love. I don't care. He knows no strangers.
Yep. Well, I'm Rhonda.
I'm Blade. And today we're going to talk about two things. First, we're going to talk about EMF.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll talk about like what we actually as individuals do. Because we've, said, well, I'm a shaman, I'm a physical medium. But what does that really entail?
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that in the second part. So let's talk about EMFs first. So EMF stands for electromagnetic field.
Yep.
So essentially there are...
He's trying to jump.
I know.
Don't jump.
There are different ways EMF will manifest. Some of it is spiritual.
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody is using an EMF meter, they might get a reading and they might look at the fluctuations.
Mm-hmm.
And essentially, this might actually be a spirit.
Yeah.
Because they do manipulate energy. All beings have an electromagnetic field.
Mm-hmm.
We give it off. Our bodies have that. Our actual brain waves use electromagnetic energy for us to even think. All of our processes, muscles, everything.
Yeah.
Our brain uses that. We give that off. We actually give off a slight radiation too.
Mm-hmm.
Because of that energy.
Yeah.
So everything has it, and there is the physicist version of energy is energy cannot be destroyed.
Right.
It can only be changed.
Right. It never goes away.
It doesn't go away. So even when we die, we don't lose that energy. It transforms. It can transform into heat. It can transform into a spiritual being. It can, animals use it. It's going to cause a bunch of change.
Yeah.
So energy cannot be destroyed. The other thing that a lot of people, and this is one of the ones that I want to discuss, with EMFs, there are things where in an EMF field, people will feel different things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They will get headaches,
dizziness,
nausea,
confusion.
There's a sense of being watched and followed.
Yeah. I wonder if that's what's going on in my basement.
Yeah. But these are all what occur when an EMF field tends to be higher than normal.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, how many milligauss would you normally say the average house? With all the lights off and everything, if there's no electricity pulsing through the house, it would be a 0. If there's nothing around.
Mm-hmm. It should be a 0.
It should be a 0.
Yeah.
I think most of the safe zones should be no more than, a 2?
I think like a 2 to a 4.
Yeah, because if everything's on and stuff, and depending about the wiring outside as well.
Yeah.
The
power
lines and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So usually you want to stay within a safe zone.
Mm-hmm.
Anything above that, depending on the amount,
can mess with your head.
Can either be spiritual. If you have any kind of EMF that is above a 4, that is consistent, you might want to have your electrical system checked.
Yeah.
Like the area down in my basement, where when I was younger it gave me the biggest creeps.
Yeah.
As I got older, and like now, it doesn't give me the creeps because I know what it is.
Right.
It's where the power box is, the fuse box, the heater, the water heater.
Yeah, especially in older houses.
Right.
Yeah, like my house is 60 years old, and Yeah, that's probably why in the basement I feel like somebody's standing behind
Right.
me when I'm
I always
doing
felt
the laundry.
that. Yeah, always felt that discomfort in that one part of the house, in that one
Mhm.
part of the basement.
Yep.
But it's all the EMF from all the household
Yeah.
equipment.
Yep.
Is what it is. So it's essentially an EMF cage.
Yeah.
Is what they call that.
Mhm.
So where something is centered and there's lots of wires and lots of equipment that's giving off electromagnetic energy, you have what's called an EMF cage.
Mhm.
It does not mean that that area is haunted, but you will get those feelings. You'll get the feeling of someone being watched.
Yeah,
You know,
watching you or being
the
right
hair,
up on
the hair getting up on the back of your
Mhm.
necks and on your arms and stuff like that.
you. Yeah.
It's just your body's natural reaction to this electromagnetic field.
Yep.
So it is not necessarily a haunting.
Right.
So the best thing to do is try and figure that kind of stuff out. I mean, I know he's too cute, isn't he?
You're killing me, cat. You're just killing me.
He's not a kitty. He's a puppy.
Yeah, I know. I'm used to, I have 7 cats.
Right. She's used to kitties. I'm used
Yep.
to the puppers.
Killing
But
me, dog. There you go.
he's an eternal puppy.
Yep.
Yes, he is.
Mhm.
Grunt, grunt. Yes, I love you too. But always make sure you check these things out. Make sure where the area you're at. If you get an EMF detector, go around, check what's going on there. Where are you picking up these high levels of EMF? Oh, well, look, there's a bunch of wires there.
Yeah.
If there isn't that kind of stuff, and it fluctuates, goes up and down
Yeah.
and stuff like that, that is more likely a spirit
Right.
than, say, the
The house-
Xbox.
The house needing to be rewired or something.
Yeah. You need to check on your wiring.
Yeah, especially if you're in your basement, look up above wherever if you're standing
Right.
somewhere and you feel funky, like somebody's watching you, or you're just
Right.
like, look up above you too and see what's going across your ceiling.
Right.
Because a lot of older houses, everything's exposed in the basement.
Exactly.
So
They
you
don't.
can see what's down
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yes. I love you too. Yes, I do. I know. So there we talked about the EMF. Now let's kind of talk about our credentials.
Okay.
I'd like you to go first.
Oh, God. Okay, well, I am a practicing witch. I have been for, probably 30 some odd years. Done a lot of stuff with that. Kind of eclectic. I don't really follow any one given, path per se. I just consider myself a hippie, pagan type.
Okay.
Who's into paranormal stuff. I mean, my dad gave me his copy of the Amityville Horror when I was like 8, It explains a lot, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But, I've been into the paranormal since I was a kid. My dad and I shared that interest. He was always into UFOs, ghosts, all that kind of stuff. I remember once when I was a kid, before we moved, this back, God, in the 70s, my dad told me this just a few years ago, that the place where we lived, it was out in the country, and there were houses across the street from us, but then there was a big long field, and then, what we called the pines, which is just a big pine grove, and then woods for just ever. And he and my mom woke up one night and saw this light way back in there, coming up out of the trees, and he didn't know what it was, and I'm like, you didn't wake me up for that? So I missed out on that. But, between that and, all the ghost hunting and things like that we've done, using the Ouija board in the cemetery and all that fun stuff. We've done ghost tours and, done a little bit of everything.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay. Well, they're yours. Okay.
Yeah.
So I have talked about the fact that I am a physical medium.
And I am an empath. Oh, God. Oh.
Well, why don't you talk about that?
Oh, man.
What it's like being an empath. There's a lot of people out there who are empaths
And don't know it.
that don't know it.
Yeah.
Right.
If you're ever in a crowd and everybody's feeling the same thing, like something happened and everyone's affected the same way, and you are just overwhelmed by that until you get away, you're probably an empath.
Yeah.
It used to be really bad because, I would just be like freaking out and, and now I've gotten to where I can kind of shield myself a little bit from it. but my God, sometimes it's hard. That's why I don't go to funerals. Because it's just like this crushing weight, and just, so yeah, that's why I don't do funerals. Nope. Can't deal with all the sadness. It's just too much, man. Go ahead.
Okay. So, again.
You're going to fall right off.
Exactly. He's kind of straddled between the two of us. He's got to have a leg on each of us. And not in a good way.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what he was trying to attempt there.
Well,
But, so, I also am an empath. Have been all my life.
So you know how that is.
I used to have a friend when I was at UC doing the anthropology. I had a friend, we would go bowling with a group of us.
I am so bad at bowling.
Well,
I'm the one that drops the ball behind them.
Okay, I Fred Flintstone all the time. But we would just get drunk and play bumper bowler.
Yeah.
See,
I was never drunk, so I never had that excuse.
Oh,
I would
yeah.
just drop the ball
No.
behind me before I could eat. Yeah, so
But,
I don't go bowling
yeah,
anymore.
I was a pretty good bowler.
I sucked at it.
But I remember one day something happened. Somebody said something and somebody reacted. My friend reacted to it. And I noticed just this feeling of despair in him. Not just by his mannerisms and stuff, because he really tried to blow it off that he wasn't feeling bad about what had happened.
Yeah.
He just wanted to go on. And I said something to him, kind of, was like, it's okay, And he kind of looked at me in awe, and he was like, how do you know that I feel this way? And I'm like, I just do.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh my God. Because I was very in-depth as to his emotional feelings.
Yeah.
And he was very surprised that I could pick up on that.
Yeah.
So it's that kind of thing. I'm able to pick up on stuff. Now, when it comes to these little angels here,
Yeah.
I am super empathic. I mean, I can't even begin to watch any kind of animal get harmed.
Oh God, no.
Not
Not even if I know it's not for real. If it's just like a
right.
movie or something,
Right.
I can't. No.
I really can't. It does one of two things. Well, actually, just two things, depending on the situation.
Pisses me off.
Well, I actually feel what the animal feels.
Yeah.
And that starts tearing. He's licking me and standing on you.
There you go.
He. What happens is I essentially feel what the animal feels, and it rips me inside.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't like, oh, it just makes me angry. No, I'm literally being torn and shredded on the inside.
I can't watch it.
That begins to make me mad.
Yeah.
And I want to do to the abuser what they are doing to the abused. I really want to go out and hurt somebody bad. So I kind of avoid that.
Yeah, well, like a few years ago, somebody had posted a video on Facebook where they were trying to find this girl and her mother, who they were throwing these puppies.
Oh, don't tell me. I know that one. I
was like,
I saw that one for 2 seconds,
so
and
mad.
that one really tears me. I
was like, if I had been driving by and seen that bitch would have been in that water.
She would
faster than you. Oh, I would have been like, oh hell no. That kind of shit.
There were rocks on that beach. She would have never made it.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, I can't watch that video. No. I know exactly what video you're talking about, and the second that I saw what was happening, I had to get away from it because I could feel every one of those little lives. So
that just I'm
if
like,
you have an empathic ability, you tend to pick up on emotions that are not your own. I communicate a lot better with animals than humans per se, but that's just how I've always been. I've always preferred the company of animals.
Well, yeah, because animals don't suck.
No, they don't. They don't, do they?
That's probably why we have so many pets between us.
If I had the money, there'd be more.
Yeah.
Right?
Technically, I have 10 because I have the 7 inside, and
Right.
then I have the 2 outside that are there all the time, and then Buddy who shows up
Occasionally.
once or twice a week. Yeah.
But being an empath, it can cause depression.
Mm-hmm.
It can cause anxiety and what sometimes it isn't even your own emotions. It's somebody else's.
Right.
So a lot of times empaths tend to try and isolate themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, isolation isn't necessarily the best thing you can do, but learning how to shield yourself is a definite must.
Yeah.
And
but if you like spending time by yourself, it's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Right.
I spend a lot of time by myself.
But I socialize too.
Well, yeah, we both socialize quite a bit, but like over the weekend, I was at that convention all weekend,
right?
And I was okay,
right?
But when Sunday night came after I had lunch with my mom and that, I was ready for my alone time.
I have my fortress of solitude. Yep. That's what I call it. Mm-hmm. This is my fortress of solitude. Me and my pets. Yep. There are many times where I just want to, as a friend of mine calls it, hermit.
Yeah, exactly. So, the older I get, the more I understand hermits.
Lord, yes.
Yep.
Okay, so that's the thing about empaths. Mm-hmm. Physical mediums. Now, there's a TV show with a lady called Amy who is a physical medium. Physical mediums, dead files.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm like, which Amy?
Really?
There's a couple
Steve.
of them,
With Steve.
Yeah.
A physical medium is somebody who not only sees, but also feels. This is an empathic thing, and a lot of physical mediums are empaths. Yeah. I mean, you just have to have one. You can't have one without the other. And essentially, they can actually feel the moments of death. Mm-hmm. They can actually feel the traumas. They can feel the emotions.
Yeah.
As well as see what the spirit looks like.
Right.
So, again, learning to shield yourself is a big thing. So, but I'm a physical medium, and I tend to be able to, and you can talk to them. Mm-hmm. If the spirit is conscious enough, you can talk to them.
Yeah.
So
whereas I can hear them.
Right.
More than see them.
Right. And
occasionally I see them, but I hear them.
The whole surround sound technicolor. It's like something from the the late 60s.
Oh yeah.
Where they decided to use plaid with stripes and obnoxious complementary colors because they could.
Yep.
Everything had to be colorful. It was like a bad, what was it, Chuck Connor's movie with Captain Nemo.
Right.
But so yeah, I tend to get that. Mm-hmm. But I'm also a shaman, and I think I've addressed this before. Being a shaman isn't a choice.
Right.
It's not something you can choose to go out and practice and say, "Oh, I'm a shaman now because I learned how to journey."
No.
All journeying is a form of meditation. Mm-hmm. That's really all it is. Shamans, on the other hand, are called. It's a calling.
Yeah.
You don't have a choice in the matter. So I discovered my shaman characteristics when I was probably in my mid-30s.
Yeah.
Probably about the mid-30s, yeah. And it was one of those things of, what? Huh?
What is this?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because I had callings before. Mm-hmm. I think it was just like a wake-up slap. Hey, we've already talked to you about this before. Get it in your head kind of thing.
Well, it's kind of like being a pagan, too. It's more of a calling than anything else.
Well, but some people choose it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, like I said, you can choose to meditate and you can journey. There's nothing wrong with that. But as a shaman, what shamans do is they communicate and work with the spiritual realms. Mm-hmm. Not only to see what's going on, but to help and heal.
Right.
And on top of that, I'm a Reiki master. So I've been attuned to the different levels So, and what a Reiki master does is they work with the white light.
Mm-hmm.
They pull the universal healing energies and let it channel through them. We're kind of like a conduit, rather than, we're like the wiring for the cosmic energy.
What's he doing?
He's snuffling a bag.
Bag.
Yes, because it was out.
Onyx got her head stuck in a
What are you doing?
strap
You
on a bag
are.
this
You are
morning.
licking the bag. Hey, Coco. Don't lick the bag. Oh, I know what was in the bag. That when we went over to our Cynthia's on Sunday. That's the bag I used to carry stuff in.
Yeah.
We did actually did some shamanic work on essentially a girl needed an extraction and a soul retrieval, and I and another shaman who was on the West Coast, we worked together on this girl.
That's
so
cool.
you know.
And we'll have to explain what a soul retrieval is sometime.
Well, yeah. I mean, an extraction. Well, we can actually do what it is an extraction. I did the extraction. He did the soul retrieval. An extraction is pulling out all the gunk, stuff that is taken over. When you have a trauma in shamanic terms, think of your soul like a crystal. And when a trauma occurs, it's like taking a hammer to that crystal.
Yeah.
And pieces fall off. Well, nature doesn't like a void.
Yeah.
So what happens is where those little pieces have fallen off, things will take up residence.
Yeah.
And this it's not necessarily demonic. It doesn't have to be demonic.
Right.
It's,
It could be anything.
It could be anything. So essentially, what a shaman does is first they have to go in and extract, pull these things out, get rid of it, send it out. What we usually do is we give it back to the world. We don't destroy it,
right?
Because there has to be a balance. You cannot have light without shadow, and you cannot have shadow without light.
Right.
You have to have the balance between the dark and the light. It just is. And the universe, you just kind of give it to the universe to distribute where it's needed. So you essentially take it out and give it back to the universe. But then, again, nature abhors a vacuum.
Right.
You have to have the pieces that have fallen out. You got to find those and put them back in place. And that's a soul retrieval. So pulling the stuff out is the extraction. Putting the soul back together is the retrieval.
Right.
So that's kind of like what we did. So it was an interesting afternoon. So
I bet.
Oh yeah. She felt 100% better.
That's cool.
A lot of times people who go through these rituals of either through Reiki or healing rituals or shamanic extraction retrievals, there is a great deal of emotion that's released. So a lot of times people will tend to cry or have uncontrollable laughter.
Oh yeah.
It's just whatever kind of emotion just boils to the top. So, so that's what I kind of do. The physical mediumship, the Reiki, the shamanic ability. Plus, I kind of when I have, what are you doing to that bag?
Digging a hole.
He is. When we have gone out and done, some of the ghost tours and stuff like that, I would have to say that I have had interesting times.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been pushed. I've been yelled at. I mean, they do like to come after me.
Yeah. The one in Milford was interesting.
So, but yeah, they tend to see what you are.
Yeah.
And depending on the threat level that you present, depends on the level that they're going to come after you. Because they're threatened. Yeah. Or not, depending on you and what you do. I don't consider myself a witch.
Yeah.
That's not how I view myself. I am not pagan per se, but I'm not pagan.
Yeah.
Just like I'm
You have
Buddhist.
pagan tendencies.
Well, yeah, I have a lot of tendencies.
Yeah.
I'm like a schizophrenic spiritual being. I myself consider myself spiritual.
Mm-hmm.
I ascribe to no set religious path.
Yeah.
I go by an old gaming adage of what God do you worship? Whatever one answers.
Yeah.
You know. So I have Christian tendencies. I have Native American. I have Celtic. I have Egyptian. I'm,
Yep.
Norse, Celtic. It's a mishmash of spiritual belief. That all, none of them contradict each other.
Mm-hmm.
They really don't.
Right.
It's like, why pigeonhole yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I grew up not being pigeonholed.
Yeah.
That is one thing I will say about my upbringing is I was exposed to multiple religions.
Yeah.
Growing up, because my family had decided not to baptize me.
Yeah.
And to let me choose my own path.
Yeah, I've never been baptized either.
But they essentially took me from all different kinds of places, to experience different religions so that I could at least get an idea of what was out there, and then basing my knowledge off of that, making a choice.
Yeah.
So
my parents didn't really do that, but I think my dad knew, because as a kid I was kind of like one of these wild kids. I was always outside, and always had animals around me, and
it was called the 60s. I
grew up in the 70s. I was born in the late 60s.
Yeah, but you had the country.
True.
Yeah. And it's
Grew up
still,
out in the middle of nowhere.
we really didn't have, Xbox, and we didn't
Oh,
have video games, and we didn't have
Cable
computers
and
and
computer,
cable.
yeah.
Right. We didn't, the iPads, iPhones,
And yet
iTablet.
somehow we survived.
I had a blast.
Wow, yeah.
I had a great time as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I
I wouldn't trade it for anything.
No. Lord, no.
Get up early in the summer and spend all day outside, and don't come back until the street lights come on.
That's right. Well,
Yep.
yeah.
Sometimes not even then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
Chasing fireflies at night.
Oh yeah, sitting out by the lake.
Mm-hmm. Now, I will say, even though I lived in city areas, the places where I lived, there were large wooded areas around our house. So, I played in the woods all the time.
Oh yeah, we did too.
It was like you couldn't.
Couldn't drag me out of there.
No, my mom had this obnoxious whistle.
Oh god.
The obnoxious cuckoo whistle from Germany. She bought boxes of these things when we would go over there, because inevitably me and my brother would break them. We would try and destroy those things as soon as we could.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they were the most obnoxious thing in the world, and you could hear them for like miles. It was just like the most embarrassing thing when you would hear that cuckoo whistle.
Yeah.
And,
My mom would just come out and yell.
Yeah, my mom. The only time she yelled was when she was talking. But if she could save her voice for yelling later, she used that whistle. But yeah, that was horrifying. So I very much was a nature kid. And my grandfather is the one, when we lived over in Germany, my grandfather, from what I can ascertain from my childhood memories, he was a high magician.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Practiced alchemy.
Yeah.
Him and a couple of other people. I was his wild jungle child, is pretty much what I was. And he's the one who kind of guided me and talked to me about stuff and, let me know that the world out there had good things in it, but there was also bad stuff in it on a spiritual and a nature elemental level.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yep.
he realized I liked being out in the forest.
Oh yeah.
And,
I love that.
oh,
Even now.
I know. I love being
It's like
out
you
in the
can
woods.
just feel it when you're out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So.
We're at half an hour.
Wow.
I know,
So
right?
we've talked quite a bit.
Yep.
So I think we can leave it at that.
Yeah.
And if you get a chance, explore where you are.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm hoping that we are able to help people understand a little bit more about what goes on in the paranormal world.
Yep.
So we will see you next week. Have a good one. And we'll talk to you then. Bye.
Bye.